I'm going to share with you today my story, which includes facts about alcohol, but mostly we're going to draw on the effects of drinking and driving. But not how it affects you, but how it affects everyone around you forever. You see, I come to you today because you probably don't see many people like myself, especially in your school. I am serving a life sentence due to drinking and driving. You see, what I've lost, I will never get it back. And that's the reason why I come to auditoriums like this today. I do it in hopes to open your eyes about all the dangers and the sadness it brings to those who care about you. You see, when my son Brandon was in high school, he was just like every one of you guys sitting in this auditorium. Now, Brandon in high school, he was a basketball player. I brought his jerseys, his jacket. Brandon was one of the starting five. He wasn't the best. He was damn good. At halftime, they didn't sweep the floor because Brandon had it clean because he was always on it trying to get that ball. He was on fire to play basketball. His senior year, December 2004, he got the most valuable player at the Christmas tournament. I was very proud to watch him play ball. When Brandon was, I believe, 16, he started work toward his life sentence. Today, his life sentence is mine, and I'll carry it till I die. Brandon's need to drink out of high school went from one beer to a must. Alcohol, once you start to drink and you drink one, it makes you feel good. After a while, it doesn't. You drink one next week, you drink one next week. Well, I need two now because I don't feel that anymore, so now I need 2 beers. And after a while, you need 3. I need a 6-pack because 3, 4 doesn't do it. I need 6 to feel good. Well, you know what? Your body may tell you that, functionally. You know some families around here who have underage parties. Someday, and I have a sign here somewhere, the parents that host the most lose the most. Nearing Brandon's graduation, his junior year, Brandon wanted to be a marine biologist. I took him to the University of Maine at the Chias, which is clear around the southern east point of Maine. It took us 14 hours to get there. That's all he wanted to be. Brandon, from the time he was just knee-high, collected salamanders, lizards, frogs, worms, you name it. We had it in a terrarium in our house. Sometimes crawling across the kitchen floor. On September 19th, 2007, Brandon turned 21. And at age 21, his need for alcohol was a must. On January 4th, I got a phone call at work at 2 o'clock in the morning. They wrecked his car. And it was trashed. He actually ran off the road, slammed into a tree. And if he had a passenger with him, they probably wouldn't be here today. I actually tried to get him a DUI because I was so afraid for his life and somebody else's. And I said to him, Brandon, it's time to pick yourself up and get back on your feet. The deal was I made him with this. You can use my car any day of the week. I don't care the time of the day. One time I smell alcohol in that car. One time I catch you drinking and driving in that car, you'll walk. And as we were standing and talking in the infield, and I'm thinking like, this music is killing me, I wish I wasn't here, he was okay with it. So we stood. We were probably there an hour and a half. And then he says, Dad, I think the sponsors, it's a beer company over there, and they're giving out beer. Do you care if I have a beer? And I said, Brandon, I didn't bring you here to drink. I brought you here to get away from it. You see, that's the alcoholic part. If it's there, you gotta have it. I drink RC. Yeah, I can drink all that too. It doesn't bother me. Brandon had to have a beer. I said, Brandon, you know you just had your arm put together. You on Oxycontin. You don't drink and do drugs. You don't do it. That's where I got my open up a little bit. He said, Dad, it's my 3rd year of college. Freshman year, that's what you do. Everybody takes a drug, they throw it in a pile, you put it in a bowl, and you take a couple out, and you throw it in your mouth, and you drink a beer, you drink a wine, a Jim Beam, whatever it is, just to see what it does to you. I'll tell you what it can do to you. It can kill you. It can kill you quick. I said, well, Brandon, that's behind you. I don't care. There's nothing we can do about yesterday. I don't want you drinking today. I said, Dad, it's a beer. It's no big deal. It's no big deal, Dad. He's 21. Brandon, if you need a beer, go get it. And he did. He scurried off. You see, Brandon was a bowling champion. By 18, these are trophies that he had got. 19 and 20, he also has the first and second place with the team he bowled with. Because he was that good. Over on the far left, that little brown pin is a 300 pin. He could bowl. He was good at it. When he jumped in the front seat, I mean to tell you, I felt like I was blasted right out of the door because the alcohol smell was so bad I could barely take it. And I said, Brandon, were you bowling tonight or were you really at a bar and just come back here for me to pick you up? He said, Dad, everybody drinks when they bowl in a men's league. Somebody probably spilled their beer on my coat when I wasn't around. Excuse me. You got lots of them. When you drink, it's in your breath, it's in your clothes, it's in your hair, it's in your sweat. When you talk and you're angry, it comes out more. As I went home, went to work that night, I run a big piece of machinery. I'm telling you, I watched that door from the time I got there till the wee hours of the morning. I knew it was okay. You see, I really thought the state police were coming to tell me he died that night. I really thought that was the night, but it wasn't. The next week was okay. He actually come to my house for supper on Sundays. He was going to his bowling league in Knox. He bowled in 2 leagues. As we talked about his school year getting ready to start in a couple of days, he said, Dad, I just really want to get myself together. I want to go to Oregon. I want to go to school in Oregon. He was trying to escape reality. You can't run away from it because it'll follow you. And I said, Brandon, listen, if you can graduate, if you can get through 1 year, a full year of Clarion, I will do everything in my world to get you to Oregon. I will do that for you. And after supper, we get up to leave, and as he was going bowling, again driving his mother's car that night, and he went down the steps into the garage, and I said, Brandon, I want you to do me a favor. You're telling me your alcohol's not that important anymore. You're getting away from it. Here's what I want you to do. After you're done bowling tonight, come see me. What do you want me to come see you for, Dad? Just come see me. Because when you walk in the door, I'll know if you were drinking like you were last Sunday. And he got a smile on his face, as he always does. And he says, Dad, this is the old fogies league. We do not drink on Sunday night. The last thing I said to my son, I said it to his face, Brandon, if you don't drink on Sunday night in the old fogies league, why do you drink on Tuesday night in the men's league? I think it's pretty obvious. It's because his friends. It's because he hangs out with everybody else drinks. He can't be out of the circle. About 2 o'clock in the morning, something really strange woke me up. And I lay there and I'm kind of looking around and I look over and she's awake and I'm going like, what are you awake for? I don't know. I can't sleep. I haven't been able to sleep all night. And we talked and we turned and we tossed and for a couple hours. And at 4:15, I got 3 great big dogs in my house and they just lost their fur. They come unglued. And as I got up out of bed, I heard knocking on my front door. And I looked back at the clock again and I said, Cheryl, it's 4:15. I'm going to tell you this is not a good thing. Get up. One of my kids is dead. And as I got on the front porch, walked out onto the front porch, I had 3 state policemen standing on the front porch with their hats on, as they do. And all kind of looking at the ground. I had 2 cruisers parked in my driveway. I said, first, are you Mr. Hilliard? I said, yes, I'm Mr. Hilliard. Now what's going on? Your son Brandon was in a very, very, very violent wreck tonight. And he's dead. The coroner has his body. The car's at the garage. And he wrecked on 208. I actually said to the officer, you know, I really thought you were coming last week. My body, my mind is so beat up, I knew you were coming. I just didn't know when. I sat on her bed and I kind of rubbed her back and talked quietly to her. How do you wake your 18-year-old daughter up to tell her brother's dead? It was tough. And as she sat up, I put my arm around her. I said, Christy, your brother died tonight. She cried. She cried. You see, they were like twins 3 years apart. She did everything with him. She was a shadow. She truly was his friend. She said, Dad, he is so stupid. And she didn't know what else to say because she knew. My son, their only grandson, was dead. September 10th, 2008, 7 o'clock in the morning. Our lives totally changed forever. All this debris, you can see a little bit of debris over there. There was pieces, parts everywhere. And as I walked around the grass, because the grass is all tore up, and I'm walking and I'm looking, I don't know what I'm looking for, but I'm As I'm stumbling along, which way down here is left down here? As I stumbled along, I reached down into the weeds and I pulled up a size 10 Boeing shoe. Well used. It's Brandon's. I know it's Brandon's. There's nobody else has a Boeing shoe like that. This is Brandon's Boeing shoe, clear up by that big tree almost to the far side. And I'm looking and I know what I'm wanting to find. You know what I found? I found a checkbook. A checkbook, when you open it up, it says Brandon Hillier. There's a check made out to Max Bar and Oxen. His seatbelt was never out. To the best of my knowledge, and I know Brandon, we drove a lot, he always wore a seatbelt. We took some pictures and we started heading back home to make preparations to bury my son. It was a funeral home. I'm going to tell you something, your parents don't ever want to go to a funeral home. Pick out one of those for any of you. I think, what if a Watt? But the real thing was, he was dead. And he is never, ever coming home again. He's never going to walk in my back door and say, Dad, where are you? How many people risked their lives because of what Brandon did that night? This is where it's important. 8 firemen, 5 ambulance personnel, 5 state troopers, the coroner, the assistant, the tow truck driver, his helper. They were all out all night. And the lady who come around the corner and saw the car falling onto its wheels. She tells me she can't even go that way anymore because she sees it in the darkness. She's up on the bank. He hit the bank at 39 feet across the white line. Up on the bank for 196 feet, sliding sideways. Sideways. Until he hit this knoll. When he hit that knoll, he was airborne for 99 feet. Until he come down on his nose in the spring. When he hit his nose on the spring, he continued to bounce. Bumper to bumper, front to back, for 153 feet. For Easter, there was no baskets. There was no kids. There was no fun, no chocolate. What I got for Easter was something I'll never, ever lose again. It's a solid granite tombstone. Brandon's dreams are all gone. And my dreams, to see him succeed, are gone too. If you have a friend that drinks and you think you need a drink, what I'm really asking you to do is to find a new friend. Get away from that situation. Don't let alcohol take your life. If you see a sign that says you can't afford it, always remember why you can't.